Good afternoon, everyone. Saturday greetings. We are back with another episode of Weekends with Champions. So whoever is joining, we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna ask a lot of questions to our guest today, who happens to have a list of achievements to his name. So it's gonna take a while we talk about it. So today's guest has completed his BTech in computer engineering from the Indian Institute of Information Technology, Design and Manufacturing, Kanchipuram, and he has been an intern with Microsoft IDC in Hyderabad, and he's presently working at Google India as an SDE. Coming to his competitive programming achievements, he has been a third and fourth runner-up in Code Gladiators 2017 and 18 consecutively, and he's a six-star coder on CodeChef, a master on Code Forces, participated in ICPC Regionals, and has finished in the top 30. He has also completed the CodeChef data structures and algorithm program with a 100% score, and I'm sure there are a lot more to his kitty. We're going to talk about that. Anish, that almost took half of the session stipulated. Just talking about your achievements. Tell us how you're feeling today.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thanks for the intro. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. First of all, Anish, we are very glad to have you over. There's a lot of things that we want to learn from you. We want to know your journey. In a while, the comment sections will be flooding with questions for you. They're going to come from all the platforms people are watching this on. Before the questions come in, and before I delve into the questions that have already been sent in by our users, I have some questions for you, which I'm going to ask you now. Uh, Firstly, Anish, you went to Atomic Energy Central School at Kaiga. How was it like studying in that school? How do you think the experience there shaped you as a human being, or is there something different that is in the teaching technique in that school? How
Hmm.
would you describe that?
So basically, Kaiga is like a township that's in a very remote place. So it's like a
Right.
gated community where everyone knows everyone else, and then
Uh-huh.
it's like set in like in between the Western Ghats, and it's like very good. Like there's a like lot to enjoy, like nature and voice. So the school so I'm like my home is like very near to the school, and so generally what happens with people is like when they live in cities and all, there's
Yeah.
like a lot of like trouble getting to school and stuff like that,
Right.
but I didn't face any of those. So
Right.
the school itself, I wouldn't really say like there's like anything different in the teaching, but yeah, it's like yeah, when one grows up among like people they know, and like they like I would get to interact with all of them like even after school time. So yeah, that I guess helps a lot.
That sounds like a lovely childhood, Anish.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm assuming you were a good student
yeah.
since you have. So, what were your main subjects of interest while at school? Maybe during high school.
Yeah, I would say so till 10th I used to love maths. I used to look forward to the maths period every day, and then
Mhm.
in 11th and 12th I would say I would like I guess the most interesting subject for me was computer science. I wasn't
Right.
really into physics and chemistry as such, so
Hmm.
and maths, yeah, maths and computer science basically in 11th and 12th.
Right. So, it's safe to say that your interest in math and computer science helped you in your present vocation.
Yeah, I think definitely. So yeah, I kind of had like a early exposure to like programming, and I think that definitely helped.
Right, right. So did you? I mean, I want to talk about your graduation. Did you always want to do BTech in computer engineering, or did that just happen to you, or did you have other plans as well, or backup, if I may say?
Yeah, so in 11th, so yeah, when I was starting 11th, I took the decision not to pursue medical. So I kind of ruled that out for
Right,
11th. And then once I started enjoying like computer science, I was like, okay, I'll do computer science itself, no matter what college I get. Like
right.
basically, like eliminating all the other branches and
Right.
just focusing on computer science, like trying to get into a course like computer science course basically.
Any particular reason you completely ruled out medical?
I didn't really enjoy biology. It felt like I had
Right.
to like remember a lot of stuff, and I'm
Right.
not
A lot to mug
really.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you have any code? I mean, you did not do any coding in school? Did you? Was there?
Yeah, so I guess the first exposure to programming, yeah, in school I did have, but even in school, the first one I guess was sometime in seventh or eighth. I'm not completely sure when, but we had this one course called QBasic, which is like a very old language now. Uh, but yeah, so that kind of got me interested in programming. But then after that, I didn't really have any programming course till 10th. And then again, since my school is like a CBSE board school, so we have the option of choosing computer science.
Okay.
So I took that, and then there I had like C++, which yeah. So basically, I learned C++ there, and then did a bit of CP in school, not much, since I also had to prepare for JE, but kind of
Uh-huh.
did a bit of that.
Right. 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 So your school did play an important role. Getting you all ready uh, for your computer science days, which you took up as your graduation subject, and as well as in your competitive programming days, since they had given you an option for computer science.
Hmm.
Well, coming to your college, Anish, how was the culture? How was the coding culture in IIT IIT DM? Did you have any coding clubs there? Were there seniors who would, help you guys out?
Yeah, so when I joined, I think the college started basically when I joined, the college was like 7 or 8 years old. I'm not
Hmm.
completely sure how much, but so there was a club called Xeron Club. So they kind of had some focus on like programming and stuff, but there wasn't any such focus on competitive programming itself. So I
Hmm.
guess when I joined, like when I was like in first year, I guess I was the only guy who used to do CP more seriously. Like
Hmm.
I, at least I'm not aware of anyone else who used to do it at that
Right.
time.
Right.
I guess currently it must be better than when I joined, but yeah, when I joined there wasn't any such CP focused club or basically anyone who used to do CP, I would say.
Right. So, this, how did you get introduced to competitive programming? Since there was no CP culture in your college, how did that happen to you? And did you have any mentors or someone guiding you in that?
So yeah, I was introduced to CP when I was, I guess, in like 11th, towards the end of 11th. I'm
Right.
not completely sure how. I guess I stumbled into something online, and yeah, I guess I. So yeah, I started with CodeChef. So I somehow got introduced to CodeChef, which I don't remember how, but then kind
Right.
of jumped onto other platforms as well. Yeah, as for mentors, I wouldn't really say I had any mentors. I had a
Right.
lot of friends online, like mostly online because no one used to do much CP in my college. So basically
Right.
Discord groups and things like that. But
Right.
yeah, no mentors, I would say.
So, do you remember why you started doing competitive programming?
Yeah, so I think I was just reading something on Quora or something, and then I somehow stumbled into CodeChef, and then I was curious as to what that is. At that point, I was like very interested in programming, and then I saw CP means competitive programming, and I was like, okay, maybe that will be interesting as well. And then I
Mhm.
went there, and then I probably like tried a few problems which I obviously was not able to solve at that point,
Right. Right. Right.
but they seemed like it seemed like very interesting and something that I would definitely want to do. So I kind of started like taking part whenever I got time from like preparation and
Right.
yeah.
A lot of people take up competitive programming and they face the same a similar issue. They are unable to solve the problems initially, and that's when they quit.
Hmm.
We get a lot of questions also regarding this. Okay, I'm not being able to solve easy problems. What do I do? I'm feeling frustrated. I'm sure you felt that way as well when you started, but what made you overcome that? What made you want to go further even after your initial failures?
I like those problems like were really interesting to me. So I couldn't like stop until I was like able to
Okay.
solve them. So
Okay.
because of that drive, I guess I kind of pushed
Right.
myself to learn the or get past the hurdles that I was facing.
Right.
So yeah, so initially I guess the biggest challenge is like implementation skills. So the problem also, but more so the implementation. So yeah, as I was like also learning C++ at school, I guess that also helped, and I was
Mhm.
slowly able to like get my implementation skills to a point where I was able to at least implement stuff and solve at least
Right.
one problem.
Right. 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 So the most important thing, as you mentioned, is you must have the drive to
Hmm.
be able to get past that initial failure,
Hmm.
and your exposure to C++ in school also was a little helpful.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. So you had participated in a number of interesting competitions, competitive programming contests. Some of them are quite respectable in the community. You have been a part of Code Gladiators not once but twice, and both the times you have done very well. You have come third and you have come fourth consecutively in 2017 and 18. Why don't you tell us a little more about that experience?
Yeah, so I think by the time so yeah, so these so Code Gladiators generally happens in like June, July time frame of every year, I guess. So
Right.
yeah, by the time the 2017 edition was around, I think I had participated in like maybe 35 online competitions mainly. I hadn't really gone to a place and then sat down and done like competitive programming. So
Uh-huh.
this was like kind of completely new to me, where like I had to like go some place and then
Hmm.
basically take
Hmm.
part, and I wasn't. So at that point, at least in 2017, I was like, okay, I somehow qualified for the final, but should I go? I felt like I won't really be able to like win anything. And
Right.
so the competition generally happens in Bangalore, Mumbai, someplace. So yeah, I had to travel. And so at that point I was like, should I go or not? So yeah, ultimately I decided to go, and I think that was a really interesting experience, and like it was a first time experience. So yeah, uh yeah, and yeah, so the format is that it's like 4 or 5 hours long, like the
Hmm.
final competition. And that kind of also was like a first or rather it gave me some experience, which probably also helped in ICPC, because those are also like 4 5 hours long.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, in 2017, so when I reached the venue and like got set up, and I saw that most people were like very experienced, or basically much more like they were third years, fourth years, even
Right,
people
right,
who were
right,
working in companies. So yeah, I was kind of getting intimidated, but yeah, just focused on solving, and then yeah, I was able to do well. And in 2018, yeah, I was kind of at least a bit confident, since I had got like third runner up in 2017. So
right.
yeah,
Mm.
uh, yeah, I was able to do well as well. So
Was there anything different between your experience the first time and the second time? Maybe not with the competition itself, but from your personal understanding, your approach.
hmm. Yeah, I guess the main difference was my confidence level in both the editions in 2017. In fact, I was so confident that I wouldn't be like getting any prize, or I wouldn't be doing well. That so generally what they do is after the competition they have like 2 3 hours break, and then they announce all the prizes. They have other
Right,
hackathons as well, so it takes like 2 3 hours. And I was like, anyway, I'm not going to win, and I left. And only after 3 4 days I came to know that I had got a prize. But
right.
in 2018, I was a bit more confident. So
Hmm.
I guess yeah, that was the main difference, I would say,
Right.
between those two editions for me.
Right, right, right. I'm stressing on these contests that you have participated in, because I am pretty sure that these contests have shaped you as a efficient programmer in many ways, and they are kind of, I'm sure they are helping you in your uh, profession as an SDE at Google, such a respectable firm that you work for. So Anish, tell me, if you have any suggestions for people who want to go for a competition like a Code Gladiator, what would you suggest them? How would you advise them to prepare themselves?
I guess there's no real difference in preparation as such. So Like
Uh-huh.
I at least prepared same way I would prepare for any competition, like any online or some on-site competition.
Mhm.
But I think the main thing would be to get familiar with the format, at least know like how many problems will be there, how many hours will you will have, things like that, so that you can
Right.
at least strategize and you won't be like surprised on the venue. I
Mhm.
guess, and yeah, basically do a bit of warm up before going there, so that yeah, like maybe taking part in some competition if one's happening like the day before, or just solving some practice problems to like get warmed up. But apart from that, no special preparation as such.
Okay.
Generally, I guess it also kind of helps to have a look at the previous year's problems if they are available, just to like get familiar with
Right.
the format, basically.
Right. 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 Anish, let's talk about your ICPC journey. You have done very well in ICPC as well. ICPC is again one of the most respected uh, CP contests there is. So tell me, what does it take to come under the top 30?
Yeah, so in ICPC, so yeah, that is like very different, I would say, compared to like an individual competition.
Mm-hmm.
So because every team will have three people, and if your team is not able to make use of all the three people you have, then you'll be at a disadvantage at the beginning itself.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so in my team I had so two of my friends, so they were kind of really good at math compared to me. So basically we figured out the areas at which we personally are good at, and then we focused on like splitting the work such that each person can do what they are good at.
Mm-hmm.
So that would kind of we hope that that would like help us in the like that would be the basic that would be like the best utilization of all the three people that we have.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, as for preparation, like basically going through the problem sets of the previous regionals, and just basically just kind of doing like a mock run of the whole thing, like
Right.
sitting together for 5 hours and having just one computer instead of three, and solving basically.
Oh, that's an interesting strategy that nobody had mentioned before. So you guys actually used one system instead of three, because
Hmm.
that's what you're going to get in the in the real setup. That's
Hmm.
very interesting. Okay. So all these code gladiators and ICPC were when they were happening, you were consistent on CodeChef, if I may say that. Uh, you how long did it take for you to become a 6-star coder on CodeChef? How has that journey been?
So I think I joined CodeChef in March of 2015. So that would be like 6 years ago. So yeah, I started with taking part in the long challenges initially because yeah, they kind of help you learn a lot, because
Mhm.
you have like 10 days to solve any problem. And initially like I wouldn't really have an idea of how to solve, so I would like get lots of time to think and then come up with the solution. So I started with that, and yeah, I think I reached 6 star sometime around 2019 or so. I think I had reached like so 6 star is 2200, but I had
Right.
reached like 2199 sometime in 2018, and then just dropped down again,
Okay.
which was like a close call. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah, basically, what I did was taking part in long challenges, and initially I did a lot of like topic specific practice. Basically, like I would like pick a topic which I wouldn't know, and then just solve lots of problems on that. And solving doesn't just mean like solving it in your head, but kind of going ahead and implementing and submitting, because that is kind of required during the contest as well.
Right.
So yeah, well, I think I reached like 3 4 star somewhere in 2017, and then I kind of just switched to basically like general practice, and then yeah, I
Right.
was able to reach 6 stars.
So you mentioned that your approach had been topic specific. So you would take one topic and then uh, exhaust yourself
Hmm.
on that as long as it took, for as long as it took, to get a solid grip over it.
Hmm.
Is that the strategy that you would advise to anybody who is watching this as well?
Yeah, I think so that that kind of helped me a lot, because in that way I would kind of be able to like come across different types of ways that particular topic can be used. Like
Right.
segment trees, for example, can be used for various ways. And if I solve lots of problems, I'll be able to at least come across the different, at least some of those ways that it can be used. So
Right.
and kind of also helps in like getting your implementation of that particular thing well. So yeah, I think that would be something that I would definitely suggest to beginners.
Right. To whoever is listening to Anish right now, you may rest assured that that is a good way to go about with competitive programming. Uh, Anish, I want to know how you think all these competitive programming experiences uh, may have helped you achieve what you have achieved today.
Yeah, so initially when I started doing CP, I was well, not initially, but when like I used to do CP mainly because I enjoyed it.
Right.
But yeah, but then I learned that that kind of also helps with placements and stuff because most companies generally focus a lot on DSA.
Hmm.
So that was kind of like a side benefit that I kind of didn't really know I would get, but got. Yeah, so I guess it would be fair to say that my CP experience kind of opened up all the different job opportunities that I have,
Yeah.
and it kind of also helped me academically because I didn't really have to focus a lot on all the
Right.
algorithm courses and like
Right. Right.
gate
Right.
and stuff like that. So yeah, and kind of also helped monetarily because I was able to make like winning prizes and kind of
Right.
making some
Right.
money,
Right.
problem setting, things like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead with my questions, but I will just take this question from Prajwal. Mm, he has a very simple question for you. He wants a roadmap for an average second year student.
Hmm. Okay.
What would you suggest, Prajwal?
I would say so since they are in second year, that would mean that they still have like 1 or 2 years to go for like go before they sit for placements or internships. So yeah, if they are like not already like doing CP, then I would suggest to get started with that. Basically, first thing would be to learn a language. Like so that learn a language enough so that implementation shouldn't be like a barrier basically. So
Mm-hmm.
once that is done, like just start learning the different topics, maybe like start with something like DP and segment is basically learn those topics which kind of are like problems based on that will be what will be
Uh-huh.
asked
Uh-huh.
in like till like 1500 1600 like 3 4
Right.
star on CodeChef. And then once he is like comfortable with that, then they can like go ahead and learn the other stuff.
Right. Okay, let's take one more question and then go ahead, move ahead.
Okay.
Sir, I'm getting scared of by watching big solution, even easy problems in CodeChef. Uh,
Okay. Yeah. I would say so. Yeah, that's I think something that happens. Like sometimes, like the implementation can be like quite large, and
hmm,
the main thing is to make sure that you understand the solution. Not like coding can like implementing it can be like it's basically a part of the solution, which is not really that important. I mean, it is important because ultimately you have to implement it. The main thing, but the main thing is to like solve the actual problem. So, like if you are unable to solve the problem, then there's no point in being good at implementing it.
hmm,
So,
hmm, hmm.
yeah, mainly like focus on the actual solution itself. The other things can be like learned.
Right. Some people have started asking what I knew would be coming much sooner. Uh, and which is about how to crack Google. But then whoever is asking that, we are going to get there. We are going to get ask Anish how he cracked Google. But let's ask him. Let's talk about everything that has led to him cracking Google. Anish, you mentioned while answering. A question you talked about the importance of DSA. So from there, I'll go to my next question about you going for the CodeChef data structures and algorithms program, and one of the very few who did 100% score on that. So, but how do you think that helped you? That would be my question, and I would also want to add this question. Okay, when did you realize that this is a course uh, that you should do? Because I'm sure, as a student, you wouldn't know that all companies are going to ask you about DSA, or did you? If yes, then how did you know that, and how did this course help you?
Yeah, so I didn't really know that companies would be asking this. I think I came to know about that fact sometime in second year or so, and then I think I wrote this like CCDSAP exam. I think in early third year, if I'm not wrong. Sorry, I kind of forgot the dates. Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, I think this kind of does help a lot because as you know, like CodeChef is like a reputed one of the most popular competitive programming websites, and competitive programming is all about DSA. So having like a stamp from CodeChef would definitely help. And I also seen like getting like CodeChef, like I got a lot of mails from CodeChef about the different opportunities that are available through like
Mm-hmm.
CCDSAP. Although I kind of did not really take advantage of any of those, but I did see a lot of opportunities. So I think that definitely helps. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Let's ask. We will take some questions from the comments as well. But let's get into what people have been talking about. First, let's talk about your internship. For anyone who has joined in right now, Anish, before working with Google, had interned with Microsoft ITC in Hyderabad. Anish, please tell us, how did you get this internship? How did you land this job?
So when I was in my third year, so there were a few companies that came to our college, and I had got an internship at one of those. And then during like the winter break, I came to know that Microsoft has this kind of off-campus hiring drive called TechSet Go. So
Uh-huh.
I think one of my professors like made that, and then that was basically like a coding ground, like an initial coding ground. So
Hmm.
yeah, I kind of registered for that, and then I was able to like solve the problems because I was kind of also doing CP. So yeah, once yeah, basically based on that performance, then they had like two or three on-site interviews. This kind
Uh-huh.
of happened in a college nearby, VIT Chennai.
Right,
So
right, right.
yeah, so this happened in March. So the exam was in January, and then after 2 months, so they got back in like 3 4 weeks, and then they mentioned that the interviews would be happening in March. And then on the interview day, there were so initially there was like a pen and paper round, which was like they give a problem, you have to solve, like write the code, and then kind of also a few other questions where like it's bug fixing, things like that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then based on the performance in that, they kind of shortlisted more people, like people from everyone who had come, and then had like 2 or 3 rounds.
Hmm.
And then based on the performance there, they kind of like offered an internship at Microsoft.
Okay. Did you put in any extra effort for this internship, or your general knowledge and practice was only helpful to be able to solve
Um,
the
yeah, generally it should be helpful, like since most companies, like the questions they ask will generally be around a level where 3 star or 4 star can generally solve it, like you
right,
can get
right.
such a level. But I did kind of also go ahead and like solve some lead code questions because I didn't really like, I wanted to make use of this opportunity, and I kind of really wanted to get this internship. So yeah, I did put in effort to
Right.
basically, yeah, do well there.
So, you worked with some of the best minds in computer science. I mean, Microsoft is a reputed institution, and so you were learning. I'm sure you were learning stuff from your seniors there. Uh, would you say that you have, retained something of value during your stint with the company? And if so, would you like to share with us?
Yeah,
Anything in
definitely. I
particular?
think,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, that was like the first place where I kind of worked on like worked with code basically that runs in production, and that kind of one of the main things that experience taught me was to like kind of how to like navigate through the code base, find what I was looking for, make sense of how the things work basically. And yeah, I think that definitely has helped me in all the other places where I have either interned or like I'm working now at Google. So that definitely helps.
Right.
Apart from that, also like there were other learnings, like obviously Microsoft has a lot of smart people. So
Right.
like the discussions and kind of arriving at different solutions for the problems that we were trying to
Right.
solve, that also kind of helps in knowing how things work at like such a huge level basically. So I
Right.
was working in a team in the Azure org. So I before I joined there, I didn't really have any idea about like cloud and related stuff. So yeah, I kind of learned about that as well a bit here and there basically.
Hmm. Okay. Uh, Anish, as I have observed, the programmers from India have mainly two dreams. One is to have their own startup company, tech-based startup, and the second one is, if not a startup, second one is to work with Google. I think you are living this second part of the dream, and people also want to know. I want to know. Everyone wants to know. Okay, how did Google happen to you? How did you crack this placement at Google India?
So yeah, I think sometime in August of 2019. So I got a mail from a recruiter at Google, like telling me that there are opportunities at Google Bangalore and Hyderabad open, and kind of just asking me if I was interested to like chat about it. So then I went there and like had a chat, and then she scheduled like a initial phone interview, which is
Hmm.
basically just a video interview. Which is like 45 minutes, and then after that, based on the performance there, they kind of went ahead and scheduled like on-site interviews like a month, like a
So
2 or 3 weeks.
let me just stop you right there, because I need to know a little more about what happened in that 45 minutes of initial phone call. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was mainly like screening. So they kind of went through my resume. Like, I mean, they had gone through the resume before, but they kind of asked some stuff on basically what I had put on that resume. And then there was like one uh, like problem given to me for which I had to like explain the solution and like write the code.
Hmm.
I felt that, yeah. So initially, I was feeling that I didn't really do that well because I was kind of nervous. Although I was able to solve the problem, I felt that I could do much better than I had done. But yeah, ultimately turned out that yeah, I kind of passed that phone screen, and yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah,
And
it
then
was
what happened?
mainly questions about like the resume, and then like just one problem. Yeah, and then so yeah, the recruiter reached out to me and then asked like what dates would suit me for the on-site interview, and then yeah, I just like asked for like 2 3 weeks of time to prepare, and
Right.
then yeah, and then they went ahead and like scheduled a on-site like yeah on-site interviews, and then they kind of took care of all the traveling stuff, and then like living there and all that, and then I think my interview was at 9:30 or something, and then I got there, just relaxed for a bit, and then the first interview I would say went really well, and that gave me like a lot of confidence going into the next set of interviews.
Hmm.
So the format was that so each interview is generally 45 minutes long. There would be like 5 interviews, and so initially 2 interviews,
Right.
both technical in nature, and then based on the performance there, like the next three would either be scheduled or like it wouldn't be.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, after the 2 interviews, I went for lunch with someone who worked there, and then we kind of just had a chat about how working at Google is and what they work on, things like that,
Right.
basically. And
Right.
then he let me know that I did well in the first 2 interviews, and then there would be three more interviews coming, and then yeah, yeah, I just went and yeah, just relaxed a bit more, calmed myself, and then
Right.
yeah, I think I had like a googliness round, which is like a HR round, and then after that two more technical interviews, and then yeah, I was done for the day.
Right.
And then yeah, after 2 3 weeks, I came to know that yeah, I had done well and got an offer, basically.
Right. Right. I in the comment section, I see someone is confused how you would get a email from the HR of Google. So I'm sure Prajwal, the headhunters or the recruiters have a certain database out of which they send out their emails. On what basis they you make this database depends on a lot of factors. I'm sure uh, Anish's resume or his competitive programming profile and a lot of other things must have made an impact on him being on that database. So it is not random, Prajwal. There's a lot of recruiters go through a lot of systematic research and R&D, and then they send out their emails. Anyway, that answers his question. He also wants to know, okay, what your future plans are if you want to,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, actually answering the previous question, I think it could also have been like my performances in Kickstart. I had got like top 50 two, three times. Maybe it was because of that, but yeah, I'm not completely sure on what exactly, like how. I think, yeah, I think Devanjan
right.
answered. Yeah, future plans. I'm not. I don't really have any future plans. I would just like to do well at my job and yeah, see where that takes me. Yeah.
Right. So I'm just gonna linger a little bit on that. So the in the technical round that you had with Google, how easy or difficult was it for you personally, since you have had so much experience in competitive programming and you have been a good student always. So would you say that it was easy, or would you say it was moderately difficult, and were you prepared for it?
Yeah, I would say it was kind of easy. Like some rounds were kind of easy because so yeah, even though I was like at that point I think 5 star or 6 star. So generally what happens is although you are like 5 star, you are not 5 star at like all topics. Some topics you are
Right.
better, some topics
Right.
you are
Right.
worse. So yeah, so some interviews were like very easy because though the questions that they asked were like from the topics which I was really good at. So those were like kind of a really easy walk, but some of the rounds I had to struggle a bit to kind of come up with the solution and then like explain it properly, and then the implementation wasn't really a problem, I would say, but I guess like explaining and coming up with the solution were somewhat moderately difficult. I think
Right.
yeah, I interviews at Google also have that reputation of being like kind of difficult, but yeah, I think that reputation is kind of justified. Although I would say the level wasn't like more than like 1600 or like 4 star, anything that a 4 star can't sell. Like I don't think it was like that.
Absolutely. Uh, okay, and I'm really curious about your day at Google. I mean, what do you have to do? What does your job require you to do? What kind of people are you working with? How is the experience? You're not. I'm sure you have to work from home for this pandemic situation. Uh, it would have been better if you could, work out of their uh, complex. But how is it like? Tell us about your day at Google.
Yeah, so yeah, I start working at 10. So yeah, as you mentioned, like there are like lot of smart people working here. So yeah, I kind of get to learn a lot. So
Mhm.
I am working in a team which is part of the Google Devices and Services organization. So that kind
Mhm.
of deals with hardware related stuff. So I'm getting to learn a lot in that aspect because as part of my engineering, I didn't really get to like experiment with hardware stuff or anything like that. So yeah, this is kind of completely new for me. As
Right.
for how my day looks like, yeah, I kind of just start wake up late, start working at around 10. Like if there's a meeting, then attend that, and then otherwise just check the mail. Just make sure that I'm on top of things, and then yeah,
Uh-huh.
basically work on the assigned stuff, and then yeah, like work hours are like very flexible, so that's really helpful. But yeah, as you mentioned, working from the office like, is like a completely different experience,
Right.
and that would have been much better than working from
Of
home.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
So someone had asked this, and also I had imagined: is it actually that good, or as it has been painted by the entire community to be working at Google? What would be your impression?
I would say, I would say it is, at least for me, I feel that it is as good as it's as the reputation suggests.
Yeah.
like I feel that the work that I do is quite challenging and is teaching me a lot. And of course,
Right.
there are like lots of perks as well. But although I kind of didn't really get to enjoy a lot of them since I'm working from home. But yeah, I would say it is really good.
I'm sure, inshallah, by next year you would be able to enjoy
Yeah.
those perks firsthand. Let's take a question from Vishal, who has asked, okay, did you focus only on competitive programming or also development? If both, then how did you maintain a balance between them?
I would say I mainly focused on CP. So, like I used to really enjoy CP, so I would typically spend most of my free time doing just that. I didn't really do a lot of development, so I guess the only time when I worked on development would be when like there is a course which has like a project work as a mandatory thing to submit, and then
Hmm.
basically, yeah, as part of that, I guess. So most of my projects on my resume are also kind of projects which I did for some course.
Right.
So yeah, I would say I didn't really focus on development. I guess that's I did that only for like course projects and only during like internship.
Okay. I'll take one more question from the comment section and then I'll go back to the questions that have been already sent to us. Okay, this is by Yashwanath, D. Yashwanath, who asks, how good at coding were you? I think that's what he means. Were you when you were in the first year of college?
I would say so. When I joined, I think I had at that point at least been introduced to CP. I had, I think, even taken part in like ZCO and I had qualified for INY, but I didn't really know a lot of DSA. As for coding, I think since I had C++ in like 12th, so I
Yeah.
was at least able to implement anything that I wanted to. I wasn't really good at the other stuff which is not really used in CPU, which is like oops and stuff like that. But
Right.
yeah, general implementation skills, I would say I would be able to solve like at least two, three problems. I think I was like 2 or 3 star on CodeChef and maybe around 1200 or 1300 on Code Forces when I joined. And I think by the end, I was like 4 star on CodeChef.
I hope that answers your question, Yashwanath. I'll go to the question that has been sent in by our community members way before this session. This is a question by Anupriya. Anupriya asks, how to get placed in big companies like Google or Microsoft? What are the subjects to be focused on to get in these companies and its recruitment process? I think you're the best person to answer her question specifically because you have worked with both.
Yeah, I would say the subject to focus would be DSA. So it's not like they don't ask any questions from any other subjects. They may ask. In my experience, I think I have been asked only once. Like I think in like my like in some round during the Microsoft internship recruitment process, I think I was asked something on operating systems, which was mainly because I had something like that on my resume. So but generally, apart from that, they typically focus on DSA. So I would say just focus on DSA. So if you're kind of already doing competitive programming, and if you're like 1500 or 1600 on CodeChef or Code Forces, then generally any question that they ask will generally be solvable by you.
Right,
Yeah. So I would say mainly DSA and also know at least the basics of the other subjects, but
right,
generally I guess they are not really asked that much.
right. So DSA is the most important thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
If I Yeah, all right. Konark Lohat, most of the questions are about your how to get to Google. So Konark asks, okay, if you have to give an advice to a sophomore computer science undergraduate who also aims for Google, or a tech giant of such stature, what would be your advice?
Yeah.
Konark has, yeah.
So yeah, as I mentioned, so most of these tech giants generally focus on DSA. They focus on like the problem solving skills of the applicant. So yeah, generally the format is like the of any interview is something like 45 minutes, and you are given like one or two problems to solve, and you have to explain the solution and also implement it. So I would suggest like keep in touch with the DSA. So yeah, if like I would say try CP. So if you
Mhm.
find it interesting, you can definitely continue it, but at least give it a serious try. As I think Devanjan mentioned earlier, like lots of people start doing CP and then they are
Right.
unable to like solve like lots of problems initially, and then they just quit. But I would suggest not doing that. I would suggest like at least giving it a serious try, and if you don't like it, then yeah, maybe try the other areas of computer science. Like it's CP is just one way to get into these tech giants. Like
Right.
one way which I am aware of. Like I don't. Obviously, there will be other ways as well. It's not like they only take people who are good at CP. So yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
basically aim to be good at whatever you are interested in, I would say.
Right. I've got a couple of interesting questions. One is a very interesting question, and the other one is a curious question. I'll go with the interesting question first. This is by Hello Boy. I think that's what his username is. Hello Boy asks, "What are the reasons big companies reject you?" Nobody
Uh,
has ever asked this question on Weekends with Champions. So, good question, Hello Boy, whoever you are. If you want to
yeah.
take that up, Nish.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure myself what the reasons are. I would probably say like if you are unable to maybe solve the problem that they ask in the interview, generally implementation, if you mess up by a bit, I think it should be fine. But if you are unable to solve the problem at all, or if you struggle to do that, then that could be one reason why like you could get rejected. If
Right.
it's like an off-campus application, sometimes what happens is like your resume doesn't really get forwarded at all, because like there are obviously lots of applicants, and like screening like sometimes it doesn't go past. So it could also be that you don't really have a lot of projects, or have
Mhm.
any projects at all. So yeah, it could be something like that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, actually, I would also like to know the reason, but yeah, I'm not completely sure why. So I would, yeah, I think, yeah, I said whatever I feel
Right.
that, yeah.
There is another question on the comment section that I had noted down. Interesting question. Platforms. Sundar Paul. Sundar Paul wants to know what kind of technologies are you working with now?
So right now I'm working mainly on C++ and C. So my work is kind of in the embedded domain. So I kind of work with C and C++. I don't really, yeah, I didn't really work with any other thing.
Hmm. Okay. Uh, this is a question sent in by Swayam Siddharth from the community, and Swayam wants to know how many tries should after how many tries I should see solution.
Yeah, so that is kind of, I guess, depends from person to person. So what I would do is I would at least try. So I wouldn't like fix a number on the like number of hours or anything. I would just try until I had at least some idea that I could pursue. Like if there was like at least if I felt that there was some direction which I could go in, and maybe that seemed like that seemed like it would lead to a solution, then I would definitely pursue it. But if it was like I have absolutely no idea how to solve this, then apart from brute force, of course, then I would then go ahead and see the solution. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anish, how many hours did you code in your college days? How many hours a day?
Yeah, it kind of depends. So some days I would spend a lot of time, like 9, 10 hours just solving or coding, and then yeah, some days. So yeah, typically after like spending like 5, 6 days doing this 10 hour thing, I would be like, I'm very tired, and then I would take like a break for a week or so, and then not really do a lot of coding at
Right.
all.
Hope that answers your question, Prajwal. Vansh Pratap Singh has asked, "Okay, does the rating on your competitive programming profiles, do they have any effect on for a candidate during recruitment process at all?" This is a question that has been taken up by many guests on um WWC. What would be your take on that?
Yeah, I would say it does have some effect because a rating of something like 1600 or above would definitely give some confidence to the recruiter that your problem solving skills are pretty good and you'll be able to clear the interviews. So I would say in that sense, yeah, it does affect, like it gives confidence to the recruiter and also some indication to the interviewers and the hiring committee in the end that you are good at problem solving. But at some, I guess after some point it doesn't really matter, like if, I guess, for example, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter if whether you are like 2400 or 2700, like higher the better, but I guess it doesn't
Right,
make a lot of difference once you're
right,
like
right,
above a
right,
certain level.
right. Uh, So this is a nuanced question which needs a nuanced answer. If you ask me, I would think say okay, it will get you through the door. Like we had a question previously, how did you get an email from the recruiters of Google? So again, they had checked your activity on competitive programming platforms, and they gave you the shorter interview. Now your rating does not guarantee that you will crack that interview, but again, if your rating is good, it automatically means that you are good. So it's all interrelated.
Yeah.
um, Acha, Priyanshu Agarwal wants to know: can you get rejected in an IT company for speaking skills, basically English?
I don't think so. As long as you are able to communicate your solution, it should be fine. I don't think it matters whether you're like good at English or not. I don't think that matters.
Yes. Whoever has taken this question has said the same thing, that English is not the criteria that the recruiters are looking for. Nobody wants you to be Shashi Tharoor there. You just have to be good at your work. Priyanshu, you don't have to worry about your English skills, at least in the IT world. Okay, another question I'll take from the comment section. This is from Deepak Chaurasia. Deepak Chaurasi asks, can one crack tower research companies like Tower Research, Sprinkler, or Directive without competitive programming? But that guy has 1,000 plus problems on lead code, GFG, etc.
Yeah, I guess it should be possible. Well, personally, I don't have any experience with either of these three companies, but I think it should be possible because lead code, GFG, all of these are also like problems on these are also kind of DSA based.
Hmm.
Doing CP would probably give make you much better suited to crack this. But yeah, I think also it kind of also matters what kind of problems you solve, not just the number of problems. Like if you just solve like thousand very implementation problems, then it doesn't really help. So it kind of also matters on the level of problems that you are able to solve.
Right.
I would say.
Okay. I'll take a question again from the list that we had received before. This is a question by Vishal Gupta. Uh, I am in my third year of engineering, and I want to be an SD in a product based company. What approach should I take to achieve this goal? Vishal is in third year of engineering, and he wants to be an SDE at a product based company. What would be your advice to Vishal?
Yeah, so yeah, I think as I mentioned before, like all of these companies generally focus on DSA. So uh, get your DSA skills in order so that you can at least solve all the any problem that they ask. So that would be one thing. And then most companies kind of also have like a at least like a initial coding round. Some, I mean, off campus may have like initial coding round, so that would also require you to be like quick at implementation and then not like make lots of mistakes during implementation. So I would suggest like starting with either like some platform like CodeChef or like a platform specifically for product based companies like Lead Code or Interview Bit, one of those. So and like solving lots of problems basically.
Right. Okay, another question that we have over here is what is the roadmap of an MCA student in first year? What would you suggest them?
Uh, yeah, I would say it should. I guess it would be quite similar to the one for well, maybe not very similar because the years would be different. So yeah, I would say yeah, if they're already into CP, then like continue doing that and then focus on like getting your DSA skills really good.
Right.
And if not, then maybe try starting with CP and then like giving it a serious try. And if you enjoy it, then definitely that should be something you can pursue and that should really help you. If not, then you can like always like explore the other areas in computer science, because CP is like just one way to get into a good like one of these great companies. So there are obviously other ways as well. So yeah, basically the aim should be to like be good at whatever interests you, and I feel that that should definitely like take you to good like yeah, basically that should be good. Yeah.
Right. Okay, Anish, tell me something. A lot of people start competitive programming late in their lives. So one of them has asked, okay, is competitive programming possible after college, according to you, sir? What would you advise to them? Is it helpful? Is it wise enough to start competitive programming after college? What's your take?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they are interested in competitive programming, then they like definitely it's possible to like start after college. It's also so like there's like no, I don't think like there's like a age limit, like age where
Right.
after which you can like you won't it won't be useful or anything like that. So it will all like obviously like improve your DSA skills and like problem solving skills, which should be helpful in any area of life basically. So yeah,
Right.
but if yeah, I at least personally, I kind of find it difficult to participate in contests because of lack of time. But yeah, if
Uh-huh.
you have time, definitely, yeah, I think that it's possible.
Another question that we have is, what is the best way to seek and find logic on competitive programming problems?
Okay. I would say so. Yeah, at least in my experience, it's like whenever I see a problem, it's kind. I feel like it's kind of like a pattern recognition where like I kind of try to match it with some previous problem which I have solved, and that way I kind of try to at least deduce which approaches might work, and then from there I can like try the different approaches and find one that works.
Right.
One other thing that kind of also sometimes helps is having a look at the limits and then kind of figuring out what should be like like the time complexity of like a optimal solution. That kind of also gets rid of some other approaches.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I would say a mix of these two.
Right. Okay. The next question is, and I'm just going through question after question right now because we don't have much time left. Sorry to rush you into the questions, Anish.
No issues.
This is, do we need to prepare hard topics like heavy light decomposition for cracking on campus recruitment process?
I'm not sure, so I can't answer for just on campus specifically, but I wouldn't say that's required. In like I don't think they will ask any problem on HLD, for example, because
Right.
that kind of also involves like implementation is not that trivial. Like it will probably take like 10-15 minutes minimum, and then explaining it is also not that trivial. So I wouldn't really say that is something that you will see very often. I at least I have never come across any problem which is like maybe like more than 1600 or 1700 on CodeChef proposals.
Right. Right. A lot of people have been asking the same questions. Okay, how did you get a referral from Google? How much CP profile can attract the HRs? I think the answer to all of your questions would be, okay, be consistent with your your presence on the online competitive programming world, because that is the only way for the headhunters to actually spot you and understand your potential. I think that creates the database. So keep coding, keep competitive, participating in CP. Whether or not your rating is going down or high, just do your thing. um, I- if there's anything more to add, to that, Anish?
Yeah, I think you summarized it perfectly. So yeah, I think the main thing is to not give up. So I see a lot, even my friends, a lot of my friends kind of gave up after like the first two competitions where they kind of were not able to solve a lot of problems, and kind of they get demotivated and then leave CP forever or start again after 6 months and repeat the whole process again. So I would say like just yeah, stay focused on that and at least give it like 3 4 months, and then if you don't like it, then you can look at other areas. If not, then you can continue with this, and I feel that it will definitely help.
Right. So, talking about competitive programming, Anish, there is one particular contest where we haven't seen your participation, and that's Snackdown. And we are, we have come back with Snackdown this year. So, would you honor us with your
Yeah, so
participation?
actually, I think I did participate in the previous edition. So
Okay,
I think I think I'll be taking part this year. I think this year also it's like an individual one, so that kind of also helps me because I think last two editions which I did, I was kind of
right,
in a team where I was the only guy. I mean, I was in a
right.
one man team, and I think it was two people. So yeah, this year I am definitely looking forward to it. So yeah.
That that sounds amazing, Anish. We would love to have you on Snackdown this year. Yeah, we did it individual because because of the pandemic situation, we did not want people to it would be a problem to
Hmm.
get together and practice. So it's more feasible that way. For all those who are watching and do not know what Snackdown is one of India's biggest competitive programming contests, participated by almost 200 countries across the world. Uh, the last contest was the one by Kennedy, the legendary competitive programmer, and Boris. And this year, the first prize is about more than $10,000. And up to 25, rank 25, we have prizes for Indian coders, for female coders, for school students. I mean, there are categories for everyone. So I would request everyone to go ahead and register. Uh, those who if you have not registered, register now. Our teams will share the website details in the chat. You can find them right there. Also try, at least try, because those who clear the first round will get CodeChef Snackdown participation certificate, which should also help you in your again attracting the headhunters. Those who clear the elimination round and come under the top 500 can definitely use that in their CV. Tech recruiters from major product companies know about Snackdown, like ICPC, and this will definitely help you catch their attention. Registrations close on October 19th, and the first round is on October 14th, and the first round will end on 19th. So go ahead. Anish has also mentioned that he's going to participate, and and we are very excited, and we hope that you bring home the gold this time, Anish, for
Thank you. Yeah.
representing Google, representing your school and your college. Uh, if there is, we'll just take one more question for Anish, and then I'll ask Anish to give a final word of advice for all those who have watched us this amazing content. Okay, Mudit. Okay, I missed the question. Mudit, how to approach any competitive programming problem so that space and time complexity is the least?
Okay. Yeah, I think that is something that only comes with practice. So as I mentioned before, like I feel that most of the problems, the way I solve it is like with some kind of pattern recognition, where I kind of try to match this problem with a previous problem that I kind of solved, and like at least vaguely remember what I used to solve that. So I would
Correct.
say it comes with practice. The more problems you solve, the bigger your pattern recognition database is, and so you would be able to like quickly come up with the correct, the best approach, basically.
Correct.
Yeah,
Amazing. Anish, thank you so much for joining us. This has been one of and I'm not just saying it, this has been one of the most informative sessions that I have hosted. I'm sure people are still, flooding the comment section with questions. We will try to get back to each one of you with replies. Uh, this has been an amazing session, Anish. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you would want to end with, any word of advice for all these people?
Yeah, so yeah, I guess I can just summarize with like just give CP a serious try, and if you like it, then definitely continue. But also know that like if you don't like CP, then don't be like disheartened or anything, because that's just one way to like get into good companies, and there are obviously other ways as well. And basically try to be good at whatever area interests you, I would say.
Right.
And yeah, I would like to thank you for inviting me. This was really fun. Yeah.
This was a lot of fun, Anish. I hope you achieve everything that you have dreamt of. I'm sure we're gonna have to call you back when you achieve something bigger. Maybe win Snackdown, maybe become a 7-star coder. Whatever you do, we're gonna come back and maybe do a part two of this session, because questions are not ending as it seems. Anish, thank you so much. Bye bye. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
Bye, everyone. Yeah.